Ahoy, hoy, everyone!
Ahoy, hoy, everyone! How's it going? Happy Sunday! It is. It's
breakfast here, right?
we had a late
breakfast, brunch.
We had a late breakfast.
Yeah.
You know what, Richard? I'm wondering.
Do you want me to put up the shield there?
Put up the
it's like
the curtain, the fancy
curtain. I don't know.
Curtain.
It's kind of highlighty here.
Sure, why not?
Just think it's like we're playing Fallout 4 here.
Indeed. So how's everybody doing today? Hope you're all having an excellent weekend. Oh, Minifig Chick is here real quick. Yes.
I don't know. Do you want me to... Should I put up that block? Is it better?
No.
We don't want people to have to wear sunglasses when they watch us.
I think they will be... I think they will be just fine. Everyone, just lower your retinal dials.
Look, Dracula is peeking out over your head.
I know. Well, it is Halloween.
It's time. Look, Dracula's sitting right on your head, and you didn't even notice it.
So, gosh, let's see who is here today.
I know lots of people. It looks like.
Let's see. All right.
Well, there's Apples is here. Brickanista. Hi, Naomi.
Brickaroo Bonsai. Chris watching 1989 Batman Chalice.
Ooh,
wow, multitasking. Cool. Very good. Cowboy Cornado. the Debo Bricks. FabbyFan MKE. Holly is here. Hi, Holly. Hooded One. Kathleen is here. I don't know if we've recognized Kathleen. Hi, Kathleen, welcome.
Marilyn Parmley is here.
Yay!
Marilyn and all the Parmleys. Big hug to you all.
Minifig Chick and Moto. Mr. Elmo Man. Orange Bricks. PT McEwen. How's it going? Smoke Up Johnny. Ahoy hoy to the Hornburgers.
Hi, Hornburgers.
WGJL Built, Will Lechtworth, hey, how's it going? And Kim.
Hi, Kim.
How's it going, everyone? And anybody who just popped in while we were doing that, because it takes a little while to. Our list takes a little while to catch up. Oh my gosh,
Kim's Halloween costume was awesome.
Yeah, it was. Kim's Halloween costume from our Patreon Halloween party was awesome. She was Velma from Scooby-Doo, and it was dead on perfect. Yep. It was so good. I kept waiting for her to lose her glasses, but it unfortunately didn't happen. So, gosh, we have a...
it was a remarkably news-free Lego week.
It was.
It was, right? There was I don't know, Eye of the Storm or something going on.
Well, we're in that little in-between time, right? Things are going to start ramping up towards the, in November. But a lot of the big stuff that people are going to be getting for the holidays is out already, as we saw yesterday on our trip to the Lego store, which was super fun.
We went to an actual Lego store.
We did go to an actual, real, live Lego store, and we met up with Cornado, which was so cool.
Yep, we saw him in person. Look, he gave us these awesome LEDs. That I'm going to have so much fun with. There are all these different colors based on the color of the wire. There's red ones, blue ones, and they come with these. Look, the wires are already on them and already stripped, and it's hard to see, but there's a little resistor on the other side right in there already. So it's just ready to stick right into one of your Technic brick with holes. I can't wait. These are going to be so fun. Thanks, Cornado.
All right. So, let's quickly do our Disney pins, and then we can have our guests on.
That was so fun going to the Lego store.
All right, here we go. I am wearing this awesome kind of purple Mickey thing. He's got a face. He's pulling a face.
Can you help us focus here?
I think not.
Is it an autofocus thing?
Yeah, it's not happening. Anyway,
all right. Well,
whenever we do Zoom, the autofocus just refuses to work.
Oh, got it. Okay, I've got also Mickey here. I don't often wear a Mickey pin. Wow, it's really bright, isn't it? But that's Mickey from Soarin', the ride where you sit there and take off, and they spray orange perfume in your face when you go over the orange fields.
Yes.
I like Soarin'. It's a fun ride. Immersive.
Alright, okay.
Listen to me passing judgment on Disney rides here, just I know.
You do! You've been on plenty of them.
I love that ride.
WGJL, did they see the Lego Monsters Book of Monsters? Not yet. I have not seen it yet. Is that a thing? Is that a new thing? Is that a mock or is that a model? I'm curious now, because I'll tell you, like Lego news, like Richard was saying, has been in short supply. So, but it will be out. I don't know. Oh, if it hasn't been officially announced set. Is it a new set? For sure, for reals, or is this wow, new gift with purchase and it looks great? Oh man.
Ooh.
Gift with purchase. Oh,
no,
now I gotta.
We were just there.
No. It's gift with purchase in China.
Yeah, you know what, Flynn? I'm gonna put up that blanket there because I feel like my ear's gonna catch on fire here on the camera.
Oh, this is a leak. Okay, then we don't talk about leaks.
No,
that is not.
We don't know anything about.
We don't know anything about anything
about that.
It sounds cool. If it's a leak or if it hasn't been officially announced by Lego, we won't probably be talking about it. But that's okay. It still looks. It sounds cool. I'll say that. It's real. Oh, there's a Brickset article on it. All right. Well, then I guess it's all good. Thank you for the reassurance. We just have to make sure. That's all. That's cool though. I'm excited about that. What's that?
I have to laugh about Seat Your Pants Productions here. Seat Your Pants Productions.
Yeah.
Our high tech block for the cable is a Ouija board blanket.
That's now upside down and backwards.
Really?
Yes. And now it's
is
just upside down.
Here. There we go. One Ouija board blanket helping protect us from.
That could have just been our backdrop.
Right?
It's big enough.
A Ouija backdrop all month.
Jeez. All right. Enough of this nonsense.
But look, now it's no longer, nuclear looking in the studio.
It's true. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and see what.
Who's hanging out?
Who's hanging out today?
All right.
And I believe our guests are here, and we'll have to put in our. We need to get a. I think we need to trade. There we go. Yeah, this is meant for this year. Awesome.
There we go.
Oh, hang on. I haven't got you guys on yet.
Wow, hello.
There we go. Ahoy, hoy, friends.
Ahoy, hoy.
Ahoy, hoy.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, Moto, do you have a new microphone? You sound like a DJ over there.
No, not a new microphone, but if it sounds great, I'm not going to touch my settings.
Yeah, it sounds great.
It sounds totally great. So how's everybody doing today?
Doing all right. Been looking forward.
Yeah. What are you working on? Something? Oh, you're still working on your cat mask, yes?
Yeah, I'm still working on the mask. Just constantly breaking things and things falling apart and putting them back together.
Yes. Well, that's
the way it goes, right?
Indeed.
Real world of Lego.
Yep.
Hopefully, either you have a photographic memory or you're documenting along the way.
Yeah, I took a page from you, and I'm taking my cell phone every once in a while and snapping left or right. So when I build, I found that one one hint is if you're building something that's like left-right mirrored,
yeah,
or it's symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
I work on one side, and then I will try to replicate it on the other, but I improve it or tweak it, and then I keep bouncing back and forth, and after about 3 or 4, passes, it's probably good to go, and then I just replicate it in one final shot on the other side.
Like Amy from Lego Masters talks about it being an iterative process. You just keep tacking back and forth, and then you get there.
Yeah, but if you have something symmetrical, that's kind of what I'm doing. I could show it later. It just takes some setup, but like one side of the face is a little different than the other, so it's a little asymmetric. But I wanted to stop from taking it apart in case anybody wanted to see kind of what's going on with it.
That's super interesting. I'd be interested in that. It's funny. I've been drafting with CAD for about 10 years now. Mm-hmm. And I just recently started heavily using the mirror function, and it is so amazing. Oh my God, symmetry, who knew?
Yeah. And
that's cool. I would be interested in that.
Do you save lots of version of your files as you go along too, just in case?
I usually don't exceed the alphabet, but I get up to like NOP versions on any given day.
Yeah, and then you submit the final, right? And it's final is you put the final in the file name, and then
Final
of course
01, final
Yeah.
02.
That's
final
exactly
02,
what
final,
I
final,
Final.
final. I just keep adding the word final over and over, and
Exactly.
after about 8 finals, it's like you gotta start over.
Nope, I'm never that optimistic.
Oh my goodness. Final O2B.
I don't think I've ever named I haven't named anything final since 1996.
Final version .2.1.9
Eventually-
iteration 6 beta.
Eventually, I always have to send it off. There's a submittal version, and I have to settle on it. But it's hard to sign that painting, right? And then I send it off, and I'm like, oh no, that other detail.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I asked Wes earlier this week. Is like if when he's because I imagine Lego designers go through the same thing. Like at some point, it has to be done. It has to go into production, right? And I'm very familiar with that time crunch. Usually having like an on-air date or something similar where you're like it's you have a deadline, it's got to be done, right? But of course it never feels like it's completely done.
No.
So I kind of wondered if like, oh, have you ever gone back and reassembled a set that you made and then like thought to yourself, oh, I should have done it differently? Although his answer was kind of like vague, like I don't really build my own sets as much anymore.
Right. Well,
And maybe that's why, I don't know.
that's fair.
Yeah.
But isn't
yeah,
it funny you can look at something for hours and days and weeks on end and just think you've got every little detail, and then as soon as you like send it off,
Yeah.
you let go of the kite string, and you know, and there it is, right sitting front center.
Yeah, all the time. There was like the Sun Studio thing that I crunched away, because it's usually when you finish in the middle of the night too, like when you've been pulling all-nighters to finish something, that you miss the most obvious things, right? So that like Sun Studio was one of those things where I had like that, 6 a.m. deadline because Europe. And so I stayed up all night to finish it. And then like the next day somebody like pointed out a typo, and I was like, of course, in one of the custom pieces that I had written like Sun Studio something, and it had like the letters switched. I was like, of course I didn't catch that because I hadn't slept in 3 days.
Well,
I had the same thing happened yesterday. I was taking a photograph. I get everything set up. Everything's right. I take the picture. I'm editing and realize that it's missing a piece that popped off when I was carrying it out to the studio.
Yeah.
So I run out there. I stick the piece on, do all the photos. I'm processing it. And then I realize one of the pieces isn't snapped down. It's at a little flare. So, of course, I go back out there. I snap it down, take another set of photos.
Yeah, see, that's the thing too. I think we were talking about this at one point where like I often find that I have to take pictures before I can, like I tend to find a lot of mistakes or things that don't look right after I take pictures. So sometimes I'll take pictures midway through a process just to kind of like frame it and look at it. And then all of a sudden I can see very quickly what's wrong with it, more so than just kind of like, constantly changing my angle.
A thing that helps me to sleep at night, because I can be sort of obsessive. None of us would know anything about that, right? Is done is better than perfect, right? Because I'm never going to say it's perfect, but eventually I have to say it's done. And that's a little freeing. It's so hard though. The deadline is how I finish anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I've started and not finished. I'm trying to get better about just posting, like if I feel like I kind of did it, with your guys' weekly challenges, that's extra challenging for me because I'm never going to be able to finish anything that I only have a week to do.
And then the next day you make I see you post these amazing pieces.
I know.
Because I don't typically start on them until Friday.
Well, that's your problem, is you need to start on Wednesday or something.
I can't. I just midweek I'm just swamped. I don't really get much build time middle of the week, and we have so many like I'm still kind of trying to fix my Lego space right now, like trying to get all my organization stuff really like dialed in, and then all the home renovation projects and stuff. So I really only have a little bit of time, and it's really not until about Thursday night, Friday that I kind of think about the build challenge, and then I'm like, oh, I really wanted to do that, and then I try to like push myself to do it anyway because I do kind of need the challenges to keep building. But even then, it's like, if I'm only putting a few hours into it, it's really hard to just at that point be like, okay, I did a thing, and you get a peek at it, but it certainly doesn't feel done by any stretch of the imagination.
Excuse me,
look
I'm
done to
gonna
me.
get coffee.
Okay, it's funny too because like this round of I mean, I'm always inspired by by the build challenges and stuff. But I am this month in particular, because of course it's Halloween themed, so it's all like spooky stuff. I'm extremely motivated. I'll have to say that. And I feel like this is what I've been waiting for the inspiration a little bit. Like, I feel like inspiration has hit me again. And I'm really excited about that. I had so much fun building that 16 by 16 my little Dracula scene. Like, that is, and then it reminded me so much of why I started building, was to make those little scenes like that. That is definitely like a 1616 minifig is my jam. Like, that's like my thing. And then taking a picture of it specifically so that the edges don't show. Like, I like the ones, like, I've made lots of them that also, like, you can see the edges, but those ones where you can pull in and just, like, I built that specifically for a photograph, to be photographed from a certain direction, a certain way, so that it would not expose any of the outside of it. I just wanted that, like, tight shot. But yeah, those are the things I love. I really do.
I'm looking at Hooded One's question. I'm not sure if I should take the bait.
What's that?
It says, how do you look at the ideas voting now a couple of weeks have passed?
Oh, well, you don't have to answer that.
We were just talking about it. We've got this new thing called Sort Lug. I don't know if some of the Tricky Luggers may be a part of it, because it started at BritCon, because Tom Alphin was doing a bunch of talks on organization. It was so popular that it became a popular chat room, which then carried over into like a scheduled weekly get together. So I was on there last night trying to build out some more IKEA furniture and stuff, and we kind of got into that discussion. And I will say, like, the most frustrating part for me is just not getting any feedback. Just to say that, yeah, we're not going to pick this up, we're not going to make it, doesn't give me anything to go on. So I still kind of feel, and I imagine everybody else that submitted one of those 25 other projects kind of feels the same. Like, if it didn't get approved and you don't know why, is there any sense in even trying again? Because you don't know if it's the IP they're not interested in, because a lot of them were based on IPs. You don't know if it's the design that was a problem. You, like, having no information to go on is really disappointing, because it's like, why would I bother? Like, if I knew they had no interest in a Leica IP and they didn't think that was viable for whatever reason, then I would maybe consider doing ideas again with some other idea, but probably not, because that really was my motivation, was to get the recognition for the studio. And it never, I don't know that there's enough there for me personally that it would be worthwhile doing again. But what?
Oh, I just wonder if you reached out to Lego and said you would keep what they said confidential, I wonder if they would be open to responding in some way.
I went through a personal friend there and kind of asked that question, like, expecting that they weren't going to be able to answer it. But I did sort of say the same thing to them. Like, I really wish I knew, like, if they had any interest in doing anything with Leica, because it just affects my like personal life, because I work there and that's my career, and I've already spent over a decade with that company. And to have the thought in mind that they looked at Leica and said, oh, that's not a viable option because people don't care enough about that studio or the movies they make, is like it's directly like a stab in the heart. They didn't say that, but that's kind of what I have to assume, because they don't give me anything else to go on. So I kind of put that out there, like, I really would like to know if it's the Leica property that they're not interested in. And he pretty much said, can't say, because even under the strictest confidential, they just can't, because if they say something to me, it becomes this like process of elimination that you start to put together. Well, if it's not because, for some of these other projects, if they didn't get approved, not because there wasn't interest in the IP, then you could start to assume, well, maybe Lego's already making something for that product line, or maybe it's this, and people start to speculate, and then there's rumors, and then it just gets like, I
It's
understand how it
complicated,
gets.
right? It sounds like
yeah.
very complicated. Well, it's you
Yeah,
know,
so not gonna bother. I'm fine with the globe. I know some people were really like all like, bah, I can't believe that stupid globe. It's so boring. I kind of agree. It's like, it's definitely the most boring one of the bunch. Pretty solid product. I have trust in Lego that it will be something I will want to buy by the end of it. I think everybody's just disappointed they didn't pick something else that was like more of a playset. You know, they tend to be like, up until now they've kind of seemed to pick like that sort of shelf ornament and also a playset.
yeah.
And this time you kind of just get the shelf ornament. So if that's not your jam, then there's just that many more disappointed people, I think.
Yeah, and well, and I wonder too, just in also the if just the sheer amount of large expensive sets that Lego themselves are coming out with their like the NES, like the piano, like a lot of that, like the typewriter, there's ones coming up. I just wonder if maybe they were like, okay, we got to put the brakes on a little bit just because we've got like these are like this crazy amount of super complicated stuff. I mean, you know, Wes was saying the most complicated thing he's ever worked on is the typewriter. And I can only imagine that like takes way more hours of manpower to do than say like the Flintstones house, which is cute, but is pretty straightforward building, you know?
Oh yeah, they got buffering. All right, hang on a second. Let's let everybody catch up. Might have to refresh. Let me see if I can reopen YouTube and see if it.
Oh,
came back.
Minifig Chick, bye. I'm so glad you stopped by.
All right, bye, Minifig Chick. We'll see you when you get home.
Yeah, so I'll tell everybody to restart YouTube if they're having problems.
Oh, are there people buffering?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
It happens.
Yep.
It happens. It's
The
stalled
little
out for my
YouTube
phone for a little
gremlins.
while, but
Yeah, just restart it.
Yeah, I know. That's again, it's just kind of that thing without anything else to go. Because I did for half a second. I thought about it because even halfway through the campaign, I thought about ways that I could have redesigned the Coraline house that would have made it an easier sell, because it is obviously designed as such a big, very detailed set for my own personal preference.
Right.
I kind of realized as I was campaigning, I was getting all that feedback that it's so big. It's it's too big, it's gonna be too expensive. And so I already started thinking about how I could scale it down and simplify it. And so I kind of considered it. I figured I could do that and resubmit it. Why not? But it's so hard. I kind of just want to get over it, and it's a lot of work. And I, like I said, without any other information, I sort of have to assume that they're just not interested in Leica unless I hear otherwise. So why would I do that? Why would I bother?
Well, Lego must do some kind of vetting process at the beginning, at least. I mean, I wouldn't think they would put stuff up for nomination if they didn't think it had at least some.
No, they don't
chance.
have any say in it. It's all fan based until it hits the 10,000. Although,
right.
I think there's still in the back of my head going, well, I'm sure that they just assumed it wasn't viable because it's not popular enough. But that's the reason there's that the 10,000 minimum is how you get into review, because that's supposed to prove that anything that hits that number is going to be popular enough. But
Right.
Got it.
who knows? Yeah, I don't know. It's especially considering no other IP was selected. There's really no
Well, and
way
then
to deduce anything.
and also too, if you look at this last round that went through, which had an even like huger number that reached the end than others, and there were people who were on that list several times, and it makes me wonder to what degree. I mean, I know we kind of talked about this, but it just makes me wonder to what degree that was very much like people, I have these projects, go vote for all of them type of deal, like promoting multiple products at a time for people who have lots and lots and lots of followers. It just seems odd to me compared to the way that it was, like, if we can say pre-COVID, the way that it was. There were definitely less things got approved, and it seemed like it was a little bit more like what am I trying to say? Like, all of the projects were very different from each other.
Yeah.
right? Like it was a big variety of like things, and now it seems like we're starting to see like that filter out a little bit more, which I think is probably why Lego is talking about doing upping the numbers possibly. Like I know they were saying making some changes. I don't know if they're upping the numbers, but they're talking about
I don't think
making
that I mean,
changes.
what I've been hearing so far is that they don't intend to make any changes right away because I think they are aware that a lot of the shifts are kind of COVID dependent, and we don't know what the long-term outlook is of that. So I think that they're hesitant to make any changes based on that right now. And maybe although I will say it seems backwards to me. I kind of figured their decision making might, when it comes down to what they pick, might be based on kind of these shifts and things. I thought maybe they would actually pick more sets out of 26 because Lego's more popular. There are more people buying sets. I thought, oh well, now we've got a really good chance of getting in because they're obviously going to pick even more this round.
That's
the fact that they only picked one was really weird.
It was
That's
odd.
surprising, isn't it?
It was odd.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see if I'll buy the globe. I think the globe will be cool. I'm not mad at that. We'll see if I go down the ideas path again. I'm thinking maybe not.
Well,
No,
you just got the piano, so that's definitely like 2020 has featured some cool ideas sets for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're always, I don't think I've been disappointed. There's been a couple of idea sets I haven't built. Only a couple that I bought reluctantly that I was like, I'll have it just to support the AFOL community, but didn't really like, I'm not all that into the space stuff, so that's kind of a hard buy for me. But the others, I know.
Oh my goodness.
I know. It just doesn't vibe in here. I don't have a Lego space. So
yeah, the space.
Yeah.
So we were at the Lego store yesterday, as we mentioned, and they had this giant UCS Star Destroyer, was it?
Mm-hmm.
And I mistook the set number for the number of parts, and I'm like, this set has 75,000 pieces.
Close.
I mean, it was still 4,000 pieces.
Well, but which is interesting, which is less pieces than the Hogwarts castle.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of tiny parts in that Hogwarts castle.
Yes, there are. And also, like, they're not all gray. I'll just say that. So I'm going to show
lots
you
of new stuff.
But if anybody likes Star Wars, if you're looking at the Falcon, the Ultimate Star Destroyer, the Star Destroyer holds together if you ever want to pick it up and move it.
It's swooshable, is what you're saying?
I want it now.
It's
I had no
like
desire for it, but now I have a space for it.
Yeah, it's not like super swooshable, but it is. It holds together a lot better for transport. I'll put it that way. Whereas the Falcon will just shatter to pieces if you put it in a car. We had someone try to drive it into work, and it was in 8, 9, 10, 12 chunks, and took them about 4 hours to put it back together.
Oh no! Owie.
It's not made to move. Whereas the Star Destroyer just came in one piece, is perfectly intact.
That's good to know.
So, all right. So I just want to show you. We went yesterday, and with the intention of picking up some prizes to give away.
Ooh.
That was the only reason we went.
Of course, we wouldn't have gone otherwise.
And to meet Cornado, that was the big reason, actually. Yep. I mean, if we're being for reals. But, so I picked up some of these cute little flower builds, poly bags, to give away as prizes. We got some sewer babies to give away as a prize.
Oh, that's right. Those aren't super yet, are they?
They are not super yet. You will have to imbue them yourself with superpowers. That's up to you. And yeah, so that was fun. And then I picked up because, well, I wanted it anyway, but I had points. And Wes was just on talking about how he, his design of the rebuild. So I had to go buy the Attack on the Burrow
Nice.
Set to get my Bellatrix on. You know how much I love her. But
that's a really fresh update. I haven't seen it.
It's really Well, so
I have the old one,
Wes
and that's a
designed
heck of
it.
a lot better. Yeah, heck of a lot better.
Yeah, he was actually talking about how they were not so interested in details the first time around when they were doing the Harry Potter sets. So, but we also got. Yay!
Yeah.
There you go.
For Halloween.
This is to give away for a prize on our Halloween show on October 30th. We will be giving away the Frankenstein brickheads. maybe a couple of other things. We'll see. But yes, that'll be exciting. And
then I'm super psyched about this. This is so fun.
The gift with purchase was a Mindstorms mini robots. 5 little mini robot versions.
Inspired by Mindstorms.
Yeah, so there's a new version of Mindstorms out, the Robot Inventor set. And this is the, these are a bunch of the robots you can make with it. And then they made these little mini versions that you can build for the gift with purchase.
So fun.
Wait, that one in the upper left looks like Boston Dynamics.
Yes.
Oh yeah, like Spot. Right?
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
You know, they're selling Spot to the public now too. You can get Spot.
No, I'm sorry. It's too much like that Black Mirror
episode.
That
Black Mirror episode.
No, thank
I was gonna say that's the beginning of the end, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty
thank
scary.
You.
That was a while ago, Moto. Catch up.
And then this was the other little sort of polybag gift with purchase that we got. It's I don't know, I guess more little robots or something, but it's not really labeled like the other one is. But yeah, it's like a little parts pack. There's some good colors in here, I gotta say. Lots of my favorite colors: dark pink, the aqua, the light aqua, and the bright light orange. But yeah, this is cute. I think we'll build these on the show. Like it makes 5 little models. So fun.
Medium Azure.
So that was our fun trip to the store yesterday. And so I gotta say, of course, we're being very careful. It was all socially distanced. It was all masks and
hand sanitizer, waiting pools.
Yeah, I have to say my only disappointment is that Cornado wasn't wearing a cowboy hat. But that's a whole other story. And I'll give him a pass on that one since he was only newly knighted as Cowboy Cornado.
Next time.
I'm feeling like Ms. Thing and Angela have kind of dated outfits now, and she Ms. Thing has been wearing the same snowflake ring for months. So I'm going through all of our printed tiles here. And
she should be wearing a Halloween themed ring, I think.
Well, she can have a spooky
demon face,
red demon monster.
Because why not?
Ring.
I think Angela's already pre-Halloween.
That's the thing.
She's already
by default.
She's very goth.
You should put her like in a 60s like 50s poodle skirt or something like that.
Angela's looking very pale today. She's got her clown white on. Aquamite TV, TrickyBricks, have you ever made a vignette? Yes, many.
Oh God, yes.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. Is working on the minifig vignettes is really my jam. Like that's how I started, and that's I think now that I've been building for a while, I like my styles that I've really honed in on are definitely minifig vignettes. Micro castles have been really successful for me.
Window treatments,
and then those little brick sketches of monsters. Those have been kind of my things I've really been connecting with lately. Do you so that I'm curious. Do y'all have a particular style that you feel imbues in all of your work? I mean, I know for sure. Moto, you have an absolute style that is unmistakably you, right? It's
usually unless it's some other IP. So when I built the Mad Max car, that's not my style. But if it's my own stuff, pretty much if someone knows my work and they see it, they can identify it. They kind of recognize that kind of unique look to it.
Well, you have techniques and colors.
Techniques
Certainly,
and technique.
I think of Trans Blue. With
lots of trans blue, always base color white, usually really bright colors on top.
Kind of
usually space themed.
Yeah, like a future clean sci-fi look, I think.
Yep, magical science fiction. Someone called it Elves in Space, and I can't say no to
that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, Elves in Space is pretty much a good way to describe it.
Well, you know what? I haven't moved on, and I need to now that I'm feeling. But space again isn't my thing, and then maybe this is something we can collaborate on. But
Okay.
that Blair brought it up ever so long ago. Can I say how much I miss Blair on Sundays? I miss Blair so much. I know he's got lots of stuff going on, so I don't blame him for not being here. But golly, I sure do miss him. Anyway, was vampires in space, like that was like
Yes.
really intriguing, and I need to like go continue on with that because I have a couple Count Motos, and if I gave them like different hair, look at this, I don't even know what his real name is, but Balthazar. I have a couple of Balthazars.
Count
if we gave
Moto.
them different hair, they could be.
Is that what you call him?
Yeah, well, that's his name. That's his character name.
Oh, there he is.
Yes,
right
there he is.
Count Moto.
I want to go in space.
I know. Take me to space.
Let me see if I can swap
Can't
the
they
helmet.
fly? I thought vampires
And-
were supposed to be able to fly.
Well, and then of course, you know,
Oh.
I know we've talked about this before, but we found out that I found out that character is voiced by the
Yeah,
guy from
Moss.
From no, not Moss. It was
Oh.
the other guy, the Goth in the Closet guy.
Oh, the goth in the closet. Nigel.
Richard.
Yes.
No, what is?
I can't remember his name now. He's on the Great British Baking Show now. He's a very popular
Oh, I know who you're talking
British
about.
comedian guy. So
I like
that
how the
guy-
helmet doesn't quite make it
Noel
all the way down
Fielding.
the head.
Thank you, Monica
Yeah,
Berry.
no Fielding. Yeah.
He is hilarious. It made me so happy.
Yes.
Like that made me love the character even more. It was so good. It made me want to have like I need a spin-off. He needs a spin-off thing. I think a Balthazar spin-off.
I think that would be successful, actually.
I do too.
I'm here for that.
Oh, so actually,
I would like a spin-off.
not. Oh, so I wanted to say one more thing before, real quick. I just wanted to talk about. So, have either of you been to a Lego store, like a walk-in to the Lego store lately?
Yeah, ours are open.
Yep. You've been there since, like in the past month, say.
Yeah, in the past month, yeah.
Yes.
I gotta say, I was extremely impressed by their whole protocol. At least like the one that we went to, and they had it set up. They were only letting a certain amount of people in, and I took note that when the guy packed my stuff up, he like grabbed the bag by the outer corners, set it on, and then like packed the bag, and then handed it to me by the outer corners, so that he never actually touched the handle part of it. I don't know.
Felt like they were really aware and careful, and
They're pretty
smart.
diligent, I will say. Yeah.
So I was just really impressed.
Yeah,
That
and
was
I
great.
like the feeling of, I mean, I guess I do and I don't like the feeling of urgency when I'm there, because there's only so many people allowed in the store. Then
Right.
you know that people are waiting for you to leave so they can have their turn to shop. So it hurries me up a little bit. Like I tend to do a call ahead where I'll call and let them know like what I'm coming to get. So if it's anything in question of being in stock or something, they already have it set back for me.
Mhm.
So it's usually pretty quick that I can get in there, grab a couple of things. I took Vincent with me a couple of times, so he got to go like pick out something, and it was like going to Disneyland.
Yeah, well, it's
They never
pretty
get to leave the house, so to get to go to the Lego store and pick out a set was like, whoa.
That's so fun.
Yeah,
Well,
but
you
that was
know,
that's it. It's
There
like
is-
I'm in and out in like 5 minutes.
There is another change which I really enjoyed, which is the PAB elements are now all laid out on plates.
Yeah.
yeah.
So one advantage of that system is that for our lug, I can take a cell phone picture and I get all the elements that are on the PAB wall and send it to everyone in one
I do
shot
that
rather
too.
than having to go through the whole line up and down and take multiple pictures of what's on the PAB wall to get
They should. I hope they
Yeah.
can. I hope they do that from now on, because it is.
I like it, yeah.
The index.
yeah.
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 Yeah, the index, just to take one shot and send it to your lug on chat so that everybody can go, oh, this is what's at the Colorado Mills. That's my
Yeah,
closest.
Well, ours hasn't-
the contact sheet.
Ours hasn't gotten any new stuff in quite a while. I mean, I know it's, with all the, but even before that, so what I found out, and we may have talked about this a long time ago, but what I found out, though, is they used to just send stuff to the stores, and now the stores have to order them.
Ours has
Oh,
Oh.
really?
been doing that for a while.
And I think it also, like, whether or not you get to, a store gets to order them is based on their sales.
Oh.
So
That makes sense, I guess.
And I don't know if that's and I mean, sorry, I should say this. I know that's true for the Pick a Minifig, the building station, right? Which they don't have
Oh, okay,
anymore.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I also heard for some of the more special parts, like, you know how they would do like the Easter parts and they would put a bunch of those out?
Yeah.
You had to like specifically say, I want these pieces.
Oh, like that build this figure from the wall thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I did notice that's different from store to store is the way they manage the PAB and whether they mix elements or not.
Oh, boo.
Okay. So
Mixing cheese wedges with dots. Oh.
Yeah, our store does mix 6 elements together into a big jumble, and some of them will not. They will actually have them split apart.
They do reserve, or sometimes I think I've seen that they do have one drawer that has like the miscellaneous parts, and it's if I had to suspect, it's probably from whatever they're like, you know, whatever the last of.
No, our Easter stuff got all jumbled together, 4 different elements of different flowers and different petals and the carrot pieces. They all got blended together.
Did you like that?
No.
No, it's terrible, isn't it?
Like crazy person would be into that.
So our friend Will, who's here, actually works at the Lego San Francisco store. And Will, I'm sorry we didn't come and visit you yesterday, but we were meeting our friend Cowboy Cornado, who lives on like the other side of Stone Ridge. So we kind of like met in the middle there. But fear not, we will be coming. We are coming for you, San Francisco Lego store. But he's saying that they sanitize their work area where the register is before and after every transaction.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I don't know, I've been to a lot of other places where the protocols were nowhere near that together. So I say, congratulations, Lego store, you've done a bang up job.
I just had a weird idea pop into my head. So a lot of the folks in Tricky Lug are not near Lego stores. So one thing I might do is next time I go to the Lego store, I could take a picture of the PAB wall and just put it on the Discord server.
Mm-hmm.
And that way we could set up a mailing service of like, I need 16 trillion X's and you happen to have it, but my store doesn't, kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
What do you suppose shipping is on 16 trillion?
I know, that's...
Well, like a K-box would probably be, what, $100? But if you're going to buy a K-box, you're already in for...
Right. Yeah. Well, you know what? You know what's not bad is the pre-made boxes that they have at the post office that you can just like, it's as much as you can cram into them, and it's a flat rate. Yeah. So like the small box for the $7 box or whatever would absolutely hold a half a cup or more, like a small cup or more, like a whole small cup or more, depending on the size.
That's not a very good deal though. You're basically paying double.
No, I'm saying.
But I'm saying if someone doesn't have a Lego store at all, if they're like, they don't have any retail Lego outlets near them, this might be just a way to...
But I'm saying, you know, like they have those little, a lot of times they have like the flowers or the flames, or like if there was some reason that you wanted, if you wanted a lot of flowers, one of those little $7 shipping boxes would pack in probably 2 full cups of flowers, if not more. I mean, you could really cram a lot in there. I'm just saying, depending on what you do, depending on what the pieces are and how many you need, that's an option. So
yeah, I know that.
There's also bricks and pieces online. I hope everybody knows that you can do pick a brick on.
I love bricks and pieces now.
You can, but it's not quite the same, right?
Not. I didn't mean bricks and pieces. I meant the pick a brick. There's pick a brick online as well, where you can go in and order just whatever parts they have available. You don't have to go and put in set numbers and stuff because that is tedious.
Yeah, but also too, that's not the same as being able to go in and have a cup full of something for, $15, or spending 3 cents a piece or 4 cents a piece.
Yeah, I remember when the mixel joints were on there, I just destroyed the mixel joints out of the PAB wall, and that was one of those elements that if you wanted a ton of them for cheap, a $7 box would not be a bad deal because you'd get a couple hundred of these.
Yep. Anyway, that's
an idea.
Someone's coming.
Is it that time? It is that time.
It is.
Yep. And here we go, everybody.
Oh,
all right. He's all ready, is he?
Hi, buddy.
Hi. Logan's here. Yay.
Oh, look.
And Skittles is here, and Moto Cat is here.
See? You can tell he's wagging his tail.
Oh, very good. Yay.
She hates the chair, though.
Skittles.
Wow. Skittles.
It's my
Bubba.
Moto turned into a cat.
everybody.
Okay, here, get one more.
Oh, he's gonna get another
Yeah,
one.
he's gonna
Okay,
get
here we go.
One last
more.
one, right?
Oh.
What?
Oh.
You got it on the rebound.
You got it on the... It landed on Daddy. All
You're a good
right,
boy.
yay, Logan.
Went down. Yeah. Okay.
All right, hooray. Okay, that's terrifying, Moto. the drinking out of the cup was just one step too
That's a good
far.
girl. Yeah, you want one more? Can you catch it?
The drinking out of the cup was just one step too far. That went from cute to terrifying in about 3 seconds, I gotta say. Anywho.
See what I can get done while streaming? Now this box that Minifig Chick gave me with Disney pins in it has all my upcoming Disney pins.
Good.
And now I have jewelry for Ms. Thing and Angela for the next several
Nice.
months.
Oh, good.
Oh, I forgot about Disney pins. I had my Disney pin for today.
Oh, yes,
cool.
please. Yeah, we have. That is. Oh, is that
Oh, it's
Thumper?
Thumper.
It's Thumper.
Very cute.
Thumper.
Hooray,
One of my
Thumper.
like if I had a Lego tattoo Disney tattoo, it'd probably be this one.
Oh, very cute.
Yeah, that's like I used to recite those lines when I was like 3. Every line from the film.
My favorite line
Hey,
from
Minifig
that
Nick.
movie is "You can call me," or what is it? He can call me Flower if he
Flower
wants
if he
to.
wants to.
Oh, Lord.
Mine was eating greens is a special treat. It gives you long ears and great big feet, but it sure is awful stuff to eat.
Oh, cute characters speaking in rhyme. So, golly.
Got my stickers too. I just busted open a set for the
Oh,
stickers.
Oh, yeah, we
Cool,
haven't done
yeah.
stickers yet.
No, we
Let's,
haven't. What happened to ours? Oh, you have it right there.
Do I? Okay.
I
Here
need
we
to
go.
open these bags too, so I'm gonna have to mute at some point.
Okay, let's see if we can do sticker set show and tell. Do I have something set up for that? We'll see if it works. All right.
It worked,
It
right?
kind of worked. I didn't have that one. I didn't have it set up for the Sunday show yet. I'm still getting my little Stream Deck thing all sorted out for the different shows that we have because they are really. It's funny. They all do require a different setup. So this requires a different setup than like a slideshow requires a whole different setup, and just a regular day-to-day show requires its own setup. And then of course there's the Twitch stream setup.
Completely different.
Yes, which I'll be back to tomorrow, by the way, in case anyone was wondering.
Well, do you want to go? I'm wondering. Do you want to go first, Holly?
Sure. So I just opened up the Lighthouse of Darkness, a hidden side set.
Oh, nice.
Hidden side 70431.
Best part of that is the guy in the sand green fisherman outfit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there we go. Pretty sweet stickers.
Oh, nice. I like that
Grimsmith
sign.
Cove.
Very
Ooh,
versatile.
Speaking of Grimsmith, tonight's the final episode of Lovecraft Country for this season, and I'm just
Ooh.
beside myself. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Any stickers, Moto?
Yeah, but I'm looking it up.
Oh, okay. We'll do ours.
Well, we have ours here. Tiny style. Let's see if we can autofocus.
It's another hidden
now.
side set.
Can we put some shielding over
It's
there?
not going to do it.
Oh, there! Look, it did it.
Oh, it did it.
Okay, this is from 2018, set 76096. It's 6 by 5.75, so it's small, and it's Superheroes Justice League, and this was super.
No. Is it? No, this is hidden side.
Did
This
I
is a
really?
hidden
Are you
side.
sure?
This is a hidden side. I'm pretty sure.
Superman.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Superman and Crypto team up, and it came
Maybe I
with
was
all
wrong.
these cool trans-screen pieces. I think.
Oh, maybe I was wrong. This looks like the face of that creepy guy we were talking about the other day. You would know. I didn't look. You
Yeah,
looked
I
up the
think-
number.
That's.
I was gonna say, is there a sticker sheet number?
Yes, it's 37111.
You do your research. I trust you.
And
I
then
just
I
got
think
fooled
it's-
by the shape of
it could
that
be.
creepy face.
And then I think it's a /6215397.
Hey, thanks, Gary. Thank you so
Yep,
much.
that's from the Superman and Crypto team up.
Yeah.
And a cool thing about this set, it only had it didn't have a lot of parts, but it had cool transgreen pieces, 190 parts, and Lobo, who came with a leather vest, an
Well,
open leather vest with a chain.
an open leather vest with a chain.
and Superman specifically had two-soled hair.
Yeah, sorry about that. You know what it was? Is we were talking to.
That's okay.
We were talking to Wes about the super creepy, skinny, the Slender Man type guy that was
that
with that
thing
one Hidden
creeps me
Side
out.
set.
Yeah.
And he's got a similar face to this, and he's also got a bunch of those shield-shaped pieces. So in my addled brain, it all kind of like mixed up together.
I
So
think that's a logical.
I'm sorry for doubting
it's a
you.
logical leap.
And your
This would be really
research.
good cosplay claws.
Oh yes, I'm sure
Ooh.
Amy has an entire outfit made out of those.
Yeah.
Oh, were those like bionicle claws?
Yeah,
Cool.
White House set.
but they're in the spooky green.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That
Did you
green that green that should light up but doesn't.
That's
Yes.
that one.
The non-glow green. Yeah.
Again, we were just talking about that again with Wes about his the Goblin King's castle is all made from that color. It's such a
Exactly.
good color scheme.
I
I'm
just
sorry, I
noticed-
keep talking about that, but golly, that is, I think, one of the best interviews we've had. I mean, all of our interviews were great, but just something about, I think, a lot of about what he worked on and talked about really connected with me personally, and I think with a lot of people in the audience. He's just such a great. He just worked on such diverse amount of stuff.
Yeah. I do have a sticker sheet today.
Awesome.
All right.
It
Show
came
us.
to me by way of mail. So there are these guys called TrickyBricks.
Oh,
And they sent me this-
yeah.
They sent me this beautiful letter that arrived this week.
Oh, and it looks like there's some interesting Dr. Seuss stamps on there too that don't exist anymore. I think.
I love the stamps. Yeah, check that out.
Very cool. Those are
Vintage.
cool.
Check that out. Yeah, that is awesome. But inside was the Harley Quinn Cannonball Attack sticker sheet. I don't know if you give out sticker sheets you've already displayed. So maybe this was featured by you at some point.
I don't know if it was or not.
If so, it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
I love
that's
the
a good one.
Harlequin
I
pattern.
have one of those too.
Very cool. Yeah, it's a good one.
I Heart Puddin'. That's nice. You know, it's got the circus on there, a bunch of stands, very standard Harley Quinn. type
Yeah, and
things.
that big like the black and red zigzags with the
Yeah, these are
diamonds
really
is
cool.
great. Yeah.
I also like that little monster.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's cute.
Very cool.
Pretty cool. Very nice sticker set.
Awesome.
I just noticed your shirts, both of you. Stranger Things, awesome. Scareback thing.
Scareback
Airback
things.
things.
Oh.
Yeah,
Scareback.
yeah, it's a pretty cool shirt. This is one that what's his name?
I don't know.
I can't pronounce his name. It's like Norwegian
Mm.
Okay.
or something. This is his last name. Anyway, he made them for Scareback last year. And I thought they were pretty cool.
Very cool.
Hmm.
And Moto with his very Halloween pattern.
Yes, you have your Halloween
I
shirt
was
on
trying.
today.
Yes, I got my Halloween shirt on today.
Well, I am going to. Well,
Oh, see?
What?
See what happens?
I just wanted to
You go
remind
poking
everybody that this week we are our challenge is a Halloween mosaic challenge, and whatever that means to you. Sorry, I hear that somebody's doing a like or a follow, but I don't have the animation up on the TV or on our screen right now. So
Well, often it
thank
comes
you
with-
for whatever sparkly sound that was. I'm afraid that I didn't know what it was.
Oh,
But yes, we're doing a mosaic challenge. There is no size. There's no size limit. So that's up to you what you decide to do with that. And you know, we were talking about that, like, mosaics don't have to be, you know, all 1x1 plates, right? Like that. Those brick sketches, those are mosaics, that type of thing. So hopefully you will have something fun to work on for that. I know I've got some ideas. I'll just say that.
I think
I got
just
nothing.
broke this.
I'll probably come up with something on Friday.
On Friday at noon.
How did I break
He
Well,
has
actually, it'll
ideas.
probably be more like like Friday at like 2 a.m. and then I'll, have it done by noon maybe.
Got it.
Well,
There
but
you
you're
go.
building, so that's good.
That's the point, right? That's the
Yeah.
point.
I'm breaking this model.
Oh, let's see this, Moto.
I have to put the ears on. So I'm sorry, you're gonna have to fill the conversation with witty banter for just a while.
Okay.
No,
Or we
I'm not
can sit
very
here and
good
wait
at
and
that.
listen for all the clink, clack.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go. And then I want to figure. I got to figure out how to give you. I'll give you focus here in a second. I'll do your. I'll highlight your video when you're ready. So you just let me know.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Of course, there's a 50% chance I'm gonna blow this whole thing apart on air, which is also pretty awesome.
I appreciate that you're doing this live because that's what I want to see.
We have 13 cameras ready to zoom in on that moment and
Yeah.
play it for the next
I
6
might-
That's the best
months.
part. This is high drama TV right here.
I know I might pull a moto.
You have to, but then you have to go. No.
Oh yeah.
When it
Then start
happens.
crying.
Oh well, I wasn't gonna go there.
This is his audition right here.
I probably
Audition
won't
tape.
cry, but I'll be very disappointed in myself.
Okay, so I am going to. What are you doing there?
I'm trying to repair the. I made for one of our challenges many
Early
moons
on.
ago. This is Ms. Thing's house,
Oh yes.
and I broke a window out on it.
Okay, I know what I can talk about.
What's that?
Although I don't want to go too far into it because it looks like Moto's almost ready.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
No, don't be sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about.
It's a
my
work in
friend.
progress. It's a bit rough.
Okay, are we ready? Are you ready to show off? I will spotlight you.
Whoa!
Nice.
Let me see.
That's pretty good. Can you see through it? Is it a wearable?
It is a
Matt,
wearable.
yeah.
Well, if I put it on, there is a 50% chance I'll lose it. I can't look through the eyes. My eyes appear down in these small gaps in here.
I see.
Ah,
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
You're seeing it here first, folks. What?
Oh, my
my
goodness.
God, that's amazing. Wow, Moto.
wow! King of angled plates.
If I wasn't wearing shorts, I would stand up and applaud right now. That's fantastic.
Uh-oh.
Awesome.
Pretty good. I'm impressed. All right, you got to get it ready for trick or treating.
Whoa,
Awesome.
that is crazy.
That is
really
crazy.
good.
Oh, look, and we've all switched positions. That's crazy.
Oh,
my
how,
goodness.
yeah, for us, Holly and Motor.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
there you go.
if it's for
Oh,
us,
now
that
we're back.
everyone else sees
Yeah,
that.
lost
Man,
it here.
everything's
Oh
spooky.
well.
Wow, I was on the edge of my seat. It didn't explode.
Yeah.
No, I just broke the ear off. That's okay.
Well, I mean, considering you just attached it on briefly for this, for
That's okay.
that, I think it's fine.
It'll come back together.
It's a much gentler piece than the wolf. It doesn't have that ferocity or that kind of predatory look.
Yeah, it's supposed to be very cute.
Yeah,
very-
it is.
Yeah, because it's a wearable, I wanted to keep it cute for kids, not to
It's
scare
very
the living
cute.
So we
daylights out of
do,
'em.
Moto, there's a couple questions. So Jeff McElwee asks, what are you going to use for whiskers?
Just the studs to hint at them. I have an idea on how to do whiskers.
Uh-huh.
I'm probably going to lean into really chubby. I don't know what the name of the element is. It's a real curly Q element that normally occurs in gold. It was in Ninjago
Yes,
and Elves.
yeah.
It's one of
So-
my favorite pieces.
Yeah, so they have a black version. I'm gonna order maybe 6 of those and just have 3 of those kind of positioned.
All right.
Fancy.
Cool.
Yeah, I was just trying to get some of those from Bricks and Pieces, and the order kept crapping out. So
I
Happens
have
all
them
the
in
time.
gold and dark blue, but not black, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
have
was
them in gold.
thinking, I was thinking about, the 1x1 round. I mean, like this. I guess this is like super simple, but the 1x1 round with a hole with a flexi tube.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
I mean, that's like the super probably.
Oh, the flexi tube. Yeah, the only problem I'm having is the whiskers.
or
I
do you
put
use-
some on, but they were really distracting.
Oh, sure.
here.
Those are the ones I put on. I put those antennas on, but because it doesn't break across the angle, they were all
Yeah.
kind of just sticking out in a clump. and it looked like
got
lolly
it.
fingers on the mound. You know, it was not a good look for the cat.
I've molded FlexiTube before by just kind of massaging it in one direction.
Yeah, that would probably work.
But I'm sure you have a clear vision in your head of where you're
Not
going
really.
anyway.
No.
Wait, what? Jeff McElwee says FlexiTube is $90 a foot? What? $90?
Not if you get the OEM. Yeah, if you get the OEM stuff, it's a lot cheaper.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap.
That hurt. Oh, sarcasm. I was like, oh, good.
Oh.
God.
90 or 9?
And
90?
then, so somebody else had a question too. Oh, yes. I think Joel was asking, does it have foam cushioning inside? Because it looks like it would be painful.
It's not. So what happened? I was thinking of getting a construction helmet and ripping that inside part out.
We've done that before.
I've done that before. Yeah, I used to. I actually, one of my many art projects in my past life was I made a bunch of. I don't know. I went through a period there where I made a bunch of like fur-covered animal like mascot heads for various reasons, for shows and stuff.
Yeah, you made a wolf for Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, I made a wolf for Red Riding Hood. I did a 2 Technicolor rats, like giant rat heads with one was pink fun fur, like that super fluorescent pink, and the other one was green. And then I did
flies.
2 giant fly heads. Those were terrifying. I used like colanders for the eyeballs, like collars, little tiny netted colanders. Those were cool. But yeah, that's exactly what I did, Moto. I got a construction helmet at the thrift store and just built right on top of it.
But the interesting thing is there's no room. So when I put that on, the shape of that skull happens to hit exactly the shape of the top of my head.
Oh,
so
okay.
I got lucky. So what I'm probably going to do is put those 2x2 inverse rounds.
Oh, the little sliders things, yeah.
Floor sliders. So I'm probably going to stick floor sliders all through the high points, and then it'll just rest.
Wow, you are brave, sir. That's amazing.
Either that, or I've got some really thin foam, so I may just stitch a tinfoil crazy hat for myself and put it on top of it. Because I got to keep the radio waves out of my brain when I'm wearing that.
I was going to say that's a very convenient reason to be making a foil hat.
I got to put a Faraday. I'm going to put wire mesh so it's a Faraday cage around my head so no one can hack into my brain with the 5G antenna network.
Jeez.
Well, that's pardon me.
You right there?
Yes. That's wonderful. Boy, I gotta drink some water here.
Okay. Oops. All good. Water.
No, I just got a frog in my throat.
Oh, got it. Actually, honey, while you're up.
Yes. Would you like some more coffee?
Yes, please.
All right.
Wait.
I was just wondering if we should maybe next episode or whatever, we should maybe show off some of the Halloween costumes we've made. I was just looking at some ones I've made in the past that are pretty.
Oh, sure. If people would want to do that.
If you give me upfront enough lead time, I'll do it.
Okay.
And we could actually probably take Halloween costume photos from viewers as well and do a slideshow.
I think we should. Yeah.
That would be fun. You think next weekend? That would be the weekend before Halloween, I think.
I'm probably, in all honesty, probably not going to get around to going all out to make costumes this year. It's a little too crazy.
Right. I think everybody's feeling like that.
Trick or treating or anything, but
okay. I think
like when my kids were really little, like between the ages of 3 and 6-ish, I went all out on their costumes. It's pretty good.
Well, then let's say if any viewers who would like to do a and if Maraid's watching, don't worry, I'll take care of this one. You don't have to do this one. If you have, and I'm limiting you all to 2, you have to pick your top 2, no more than 2, because I have a feeling since this isn't building, we might get a lot of photos, because this is just photos that you have. Pick your 2 favorite Halloween costumes and send those.
Ooh, that's tough.
To no, that doesn't count for you, Moto.
I was like, oh man, too.
That doesn't count for you.
Okay.
But any of the viewers, if you want, I will set up I'll go ahead and set up a form like I do for the challenges, and I'll put up a post about it tomorrow where you can go and turn in your 2 favorite Halloween costumes from the past. Costumes from the past. Well, yes. I mean, future costumes might be a little difficult, but if you think you can pull it off, you can do it. You can certainly have a future costume.
And that's per viewer, right?
That's
so
per
if
viewer.
there's multiple family members.
If there's multiple families. Now, I'll warn you, if we get too many, I may have to just, everybody, I'll just have to pick one from everyone. But
Right.
I'm happy to
Can I
send
do
that to
a
everybody.
Can I do a spoiler? Can I show my absolute favorite?
Go for it.
Sure. Yes. You
I
should-
actually made these. I made
Because
these.
people have seen my costumes, but I didn't realize you had costumes too. Except for
There you go.
what?
Well, I'm not seeing anything.
Really not?
That's incredible.
Oh no!
I
Are
am.
you sharing the screen? Is that
I am
it?
sharing the screen. Does it not work?
Wow,
It's
Moto,
not working
Moto
on my
can
end.
see it, but we're
Moto
not
can
seeing
see it, but we can't. And I don't know that the audience can.
Oh, maybe.
Ah, now they
'cause if we
can't.
know
Oh, well.
The audience can't. Oh.
There you
Yeah,
go.
sorry.
Moto got to see.
That's
Got a
so
peek.
weird.
Okay,
I don't know why it's
I-
not showing
save
on my
that,
end.
Save that. Send that one in because that is. I don't want to give it away. That thing was awesome.
Oh wait, you know what? I think. Can you try that again, Holly? I want to see
Yeah.
something. Try it again.
Okay.
Oh man, it's so good.
All right. Let's see if that works.
Ah! Yes.
There we
yes.
go.
I'm sorry. Everybody's seeing it
They
a
can
little.
see some of it. It's like cropped off. But
It's a little
I
cut
wonder
off. I'm afraid to everyone.
I'm
but
trying to
you
watch
can
YouTube to
see
see if it catches up.
You can
That's
see the best
awesome.
parts. You can see the best parts.
if- Yeah.
Holly,
Yeah.
You're,
There's a little peek.
you're killing me.
There we
right
go.
now.
Oh my God, Battle Cat.
It's Cringer. I think it's a Cringer. Or no, it's not.
It is. Well, it's Cringer in Battle Cat
Yeah, in
form.
Battle Cat.
It's really funny
Yeah.
that you say that because there was a whole debate about that when we were trick or treating. There were a couple of guys that were like arguing about whether it was Cringer or Battle Cat. So that was kind of funny.
Oh my
Of course
goodness.
there was.
That is
Well,
amazing.
for me, it's going into the Wayback Machine because I was into He-Man when he first came out and
Yeah.
had.
You were into He-Man before anybody, man.
Well, I had.
you're a He-Man
giant-
hipster.
a giant Skeletor figure, and when He-Man would hit it with his sword, his chest would rotate, and it would get slashes in it from
Oh, yeah.
He-Man's sword.
Yep.
Oh my.
I remember that. Yeah,
That
I mean,
is-
this was kind of before all of this started making a comeback, because that would have been 8 years ago, maybe.
Cool.
Because my son's 8. He wasn't really even walking at that age, which is why I made myself a Battle Cat costume so I could put him in the carrier. And He-Man was his nickname because he was so strong for like a baby. So we just went all out.
That's
The
so
Skeletor costume
awesome.
was the only one I didn't actually make, but this is before She-Ra came back or any of that. So of course I had to make like a homemade She-Ra costume and all that.
And I think
Too good.
I remember from that show, The Toys That Made Us, that the reason Battle Cat was so huge is because they happened to have this mold
That's
around,
exactly right.
and
Yes.
they had to
Yeah.
figure out a way to use it.
That's
so
right.
they put a
Yep.
saddle on it.
They did that for a lot of toys. They repurposed a lot of toy molds and just put like different stickers on them for,
Yeah.
for different things.
If
Well,
you need
I
a warrior
mean-
beast, just put a saddle on it.
Well, as we've discussed before, that's why a lot of the minifig tools are outsized for minifigs because they were actually made for the older sets when the figures were bigger, like Fabuland.
Homemaker, all that stuff.
Fabuland, which gave us the cauldron, by the way, since it's Halloween. Gave us the cauldron. It's such a good piece, too. Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Okay, well, I love it. That's fantastic. We're going to do
What a great idea.
Halloween costumes next week on the show. I think that'll be super fun. Halloween fashion show. I can
Fun.
set up some new, I'll set up some new scenes to accommodate all of our smiling faces and the
I will let
slides at the same time.
Richard and Flynn, you can choose which one of my costumes I should wear.
Oh, you're going to actually wear a costume on the show? Okay.
Yeah,
I could.
maybe I will too. We'll see.
We can do that. We did for
So you guys have to choose. One of them needs repair, but I'm hoping you're not going to choose that one. But if so, I'll go ahead and repair it.
Anyone but that one.
Give us one choice.
You can choose one of these two, but not this one.
No, choose from any of them. If you choose the one that needs repairs, I will sit down and take the half day to repair it, fix it up.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll see. We'll see.
What are the options?
I'll send you the Flickr album that you saw before.
Okay.
Yep.
Lisa had says, I haven't made a Halloween costume in 30 years because I make character costumes at work. Can I send a picture of my favorite work costumes? Yes.
Yes.
1,000,000 times
course.
yes.
I'll just say it better be a Leica one.
Oh, her stuff is outrageously amazing.
I've seen them because she's made several for Leica. They did the Kubo ones and they did the Missing Link ones. And...
Oh my goodness.
Well, I remember sitting on blow up furniture at a convention. I think it was Bricks LA with Lisa Head, and she showed me pictures because, of course, it was blow up furniture of some of her work, and it's amazing.
Yeah. I will say one of my favorites is I hope it's. I won't give it away. I hope it's the one I think that it is.
Well, I was just sitting here toying with doing a Paranorman costume for the show, but then I feel like I would just end up looking like that terrifying guy from Escape from New York. With the hair that sticks up. It's kind of more. I think I'm a little long in the tooth for Paranorman at this point. But yeah, you know.
I don't know. I'd like to see you try.
I'm telling you, I'd end up looking like that guy from Escape from New York with the pointy teeth.
Well,
Well, you could just try
Grandpa
it.
Munster.
Well, that's every day. I'm trying to dress in costume, not like my everyday look. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I gotta finish my Paranorman build. That probably should happen before Halloween, I guess.
Ooh,
Which Paranorman build?
The one I started with the van that I have to rebuild.
I can send it back to you if you need it for photos.
I took photos at some point, so yeah, I have reference, and I have it digitally designed. But
Yep, it's right there, pride
Yep,
of place,
there it
right
is.
in the middle.
yeah, but I substituted some parts. I think when I actually built it.
Oh,
so
I just noticed your Dracula head hanging back there.
Oh, we have
Oh,
some.
yeah.
We when we did our Patreon
You're right.
chat, we had a
Masks.
bunch of masks. You'll see, like when we do the show on like next week on next Sunday, and then on Halloween, we'll have a whole.
We'll
have a
set it
whole
all up
setup.
the same way.
Yeah. So, oh my goodness. Oh, I need coffee.
Yeah, careful, it's strong.
Coffee break. Okay, so I have to say, have any? I don't know. I think y'all are not video gamers to a degree. I know Kali is somewhat, and Moto, you had to give it up, right? Because
Used to be, yeah.
A long time ago.
so I got PlayStation Now. So I've been playing like all of these games that I was always like, I wonder what that's like, but I would never spend the money. But like now I can just play it because I'm paying for the streaming service, which is weird concept, by the way. But I've never played a Final Fantasy game in my life, ever.
I've heard they're good.
Yeah, I mean they're supposed to be really, really, really fantastic, but I've never played one because I am not a fan of turn-based combat in a video game at all. It drives me crazy. Okay. There's a couple of exceptions, but I've always had a hard time getting into that particular Japanese role-playing game style of play. But then I kind of got a little bit of a foot in with Kingdom Hearts because I'm a huge Disney freak. And I was like, okay, it's Final Fantasy meets Disney, whatever. Disney's the thing that's going to get me in. And despite being extremely confusing and the story making absolutely no sense, it's a series that I really love. But on PlayStation Now is Final Fantasy 15, which 15? I know is like highly, which is like I know highly controversial for a lot of people because it was like a departure from the style of the series. But I gotta say, a lot of it and the game style and the play style is very similar to Kingdom Hearts. So I kind of am enjoying it on that level. But man, it's a pretty hilarious, weird game.
Well, and plus he gets these companions, right? So it's basically like the Lost Boys running through Dragonland.
No, it's actually it's more like a J-pop band running through.
Really? Yeah, there you go.
It's just weird. It's like a road. So it's a road trip game. Like you're literally in a car driving with your like your three friends, and all of them are, you know, like if they made the movie version, like there's the guy, like the totally ripped guy with a six-pack that never has a shirt for some reason, like his shirt's always open, and then there's like the little skinny blonde guy, and then there's you with your like your messy, sassy Japanese crazy hair, and then like your other friend who drives the car, who's like an uptight British guy for some reason, and it's just like,
I must say, Flynn, your friends are way different than mine.
it's well, this is well, if you played this game, they would be your friends.
I know, I'm joking.
But I have to say, it's really, it's such a weird thing to try to enter into a long-running game like that with no idea of the lore and all of the stuff that came before it, and they tout it as a game for Final Fantasy first timers, as well as long timers. But man, I'm telling you, I'm having trouble wrapping my head around some of that, some of the lore. It's just so deep.
But the world is seemingly endless. It's huge. It's enormous. You're driving at, scaled 50 miles an hour through fully detailed landscapes, and you can stop at any point.
And the fan on my PS4 is working overtime. It's like on the entire time.
Yeah.
I just had an idea. We haven't talked about jigsaw puzzles in a really long time. Are you guys still doing jigsaw puzzles?
Yeah, it's just it's a matter of space at times.
Yeah, I was worried because you were running out of space, right?
Yeah, but we're in the middle of doing the one that Richard got me for my birthday of all the monster movie posters.
Yeah.
Which I thought was going to be a little bit easier than the math one. Oh yay, another thank you for that. I think that was a subscription or a subscriber, to the YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway. Sorry about that diversion. I just had to talk about that for a second because I haven't been able to like really immerse myself in an RPG that I'm not super comfortable with. Like I just replayed Fallout New Vegas because I felt comfortable there. So I was like, oh, well, I'll try something that's maybe not as comfortable for me. And I'm enjoying it. So.
Good.
Well, this is a lot more cheerful than Fallout 2.
I was going to say, it was probably good that you switched gears a little bit.
Yeah, Fallout doesn't have the ripped guy with the open shirt, so
that's what it was missing.
That's clearly what it was missing the whole time.
I'm just waiting for the next Myst game.
Oh, that's happening, right?
Out,
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah.
I will absolutely 100% play it. I played all of them, even though the last ones made me so mad because I would take page after page of notes and still not have enough notes to figure out those stupid puzzles that I hate.
Which one was it, Exile or Riven?
I played all of them, I think.
It was after Riven. Riven was only the second one, and they kept
There was
going.
Exile, I think, was the third.
I played Exile as well, where they had more like moving animations by that point. And there were some other critters on the island, as I recall.
Yeah, I thought it was wild,
one game
like
I will say this: if I'm going to play a game, I will play the part of the Myst series. It's not a bad thing for me.
That's what I'm saying,
It's
man.
much
It
different.
takes me back. I found it hilarious though that all the promos and stuff they did looked like I couldn't even tell. I still don't know if those are actually new promos or if they just revived the ones from 1994 or whatever it was.
Oh,
It
like
looked
new
like 90s
assets?
graph. Yeah, it looked like the old stuff.
It looked just like it did 20 years ago or however long ago that was.
I was living in Berlin at the time, and I was there for 2 winters, and they're long and dark. And so I played those games. I read Neil Stephenson. I read 3,000 pages of Neil Stephenson, which is like
One of my favorite authors.
And he likes the words, right? He uses lots of them. So I read the Baroque cycle during that period,
man.
and played all of the Myst games.
So Richard, since you brought it up, Neil Stephenson is the only author I've ever seen in person.
Oh,
That
really?
signed books for me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He only does when he does a book tour. He only does like 4 stops. He doesn't do a huge book tour, and it just happens that he always happens to come to Denver.
Well, I haven't read everything he's written, but he's my favorite author, and I've been sort of
me too.
saving up for this winter as well.
Yeah. Interesting
Monica
guy.
Perry, Myst.
Ugh, Myst.
Not for everybody. It's not
Hey,
for
go
everybody.
back and play Zork then. Then tell me what that's like, right?
Oh, Zork. No, Zork.
Zork's brutal compared to
Yeah.
Myst.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. It is quite. There's those I have to say those early video games, or like those text-based games, there was no room for error. There was
Zero.
that was it.
Oh, okay,
I
no,
kept getting
sorry,
eaten by
she was-
Gru.
Sorry, it was a typo.
Okay.
No, she loves Mist. Okay, got it.
Yay!
Who doesn't, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it takes a lot of patience. I went back and played a recreation of the first Myst, maybe, I don't know, 4 months ago or so. And it takes some patience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had patience then because it was one of the few games you could even play on a computer, right? Like it was pretty.
Well,
I feel
and
like
it was
CD-ROM
beautiful,
games
and
were
you
pretty
weren't
cool.
shooting things.
Well,
right? It
also-
was
Well,
yeah,
very
no, 'cause there was-
contemplative.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because
Keep in mind,
It was
on
better
dial-up,
tuned.
when you downloaded a JPEG, it took 10 minutes. So a game that takes 5 minutes to do
Yeah.
a single task
right.
wasn't that bad. That's like half
Right.
the JPEG download.
we had patience back then.
Back in my day, it took 10 minutes to get a JPEG, and you wouldn't even know if it was
Yeah.
the right
Plus-
image. You know?
And
Plus,
that's
I
the
was
thing
only
is,
like I was
3
really
minutes
young
in.
too. I was only like maybe 14 or 15 years old when that came out too. So, I had time. I probably should have been doing homework
Yep.
or something, but
Those
My favorite
long
game was
JPEGs
Starflight.
made me-
That game just hooked me when I was younger. It was an entire,
was it
they
called?
mentioned an
IPT,
entire
we'll see
universe
ya.
on two floppies.
Oh,
It was
cool.
incredible. Yeah.
yeah.
You didn't even know the point of the game until you got like way into it. Like 2 months in, I finally realized what the objective was. And it
Well,
was
I didn't
almost
even
too late.
care. Yeah, I didn't
Well, now
really
did you-
understand the storyline.
Oh, the storyline of Myst.
Yeah, I just wanted
That
to
one
figure out
too.
the puzzles. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, a lot of the times when I'm playing a game like that kind of like puzzle type game, the overarching story is not really my focus. Like my focus is just solving the puzzles.
I know. Help me get out of the
Yeah.
fireplace, and
I
I'll be
mean,
happy.
As
Yeah.
much as
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love story-based games, like those puzzle type games they usually don't intrigue me as much. WGJL Builds asks, "What's Myst?" It is a very old video game.
So yeah, if you
coming
look it up,
back.
it's MYST. MYST.
Yeah,
It's
coming back,
ultra
so-
two-dimensional, right? You saw these beautiful 3D spaces, but you navigated through them as though cards were coming in front of your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were pre-rendered scenes, and then
Yes.
eventually
Yeah.
you could look around and pan, but everything was pre-ray traced
Yeah,
for
so you couldn't
and
put
then
any.
you would solve the puzzles.
Which
yeah.
at the time, again, it was
It's still
it was
pretty incredible.
brilliant because you couldn't otherwise you couldn't have big worlds that you could
Mm-hmm.
navigate around really where you could see a big scope of something. So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
really clever the way that they had kind of stitched it all together.
Yeah, because it wasn't like you couldn't like walk into an environment like you do in a game now. Like you could go, like there's like it's like the difference between looking at like when you were moving through them, looking at like a picture in here and then a picture in close up, right? Like
It was
could
basically
move a
Google
little
Street
further.
View.
Yes,
Google Street
exactly,
View is a video
game.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's actually it even kind of ties into like what we do like when we build Lego scenes too, because it's kind of the same thing where you're like you have these like parameters that you can build within, and you have to sometimes be really clever about either force perspective or building
Yeah.
up to
Well,
build backdrops or something for like how to make
Yeah.
the world look bigger than just your 16 by 16 plate, right?
It was
Right,
just
well,
an
that's-
indie game. It was just a bunch of people who decided they want to create something, and then when they released it, they became hugely successful.
Well, it's funny you would say that,
So-
Holly, because that's exactly what I was talking about before about liking to photograph my stuff in close up like that, and the whole reason why. In my vampire scene, I built that little doorway with the steps going up. Even though you couldn't really see it, you did end up seeing that there was a doorway there because of the way we lit it. And it just adds a dimension and another part of the world. Like it's not just it's not just, 4 walls. It's actually, there's something
Yeah.
outside of
Yeah,
that.
and you talked about this before. It's a very different experience when you are building for a photograph because, like, when I'm at a convention, I have to remind myself to stop and look at the 16 by 16 vignettes and the brick heads and the the pieces that look smaller on a table compared to the really big stuff, it takes a real discipline to as a convention viewer on the other side of the table to stop and take the time to really look at all the small nuanced builds and take the time to appreciate it. Because otherwise you're just walking by and you're kind of going from big scale to big scale, and you tend to miss some of the more incremental sizes in between.
Or even some of the big stuff, the smaller details that make it up are like
that's true.
Easily missed. And you're right. Like I feel like the smaller you go, the more challenging it is actually to come up with those like parts usages and stuff. So what shows up really well online, you're right, that isn't necessarily as visible in a convention setting. So I have to do the same thing where it's like I find that one day I kind of go and look at the ones that obviously kind of stand out in a crowd, and then the next couple of days I'm in there like actively looking at all the smaller things and going, man, that's so clever for just like a 100-piece build kind of thing.
I think for me, my work in theater really informs the way that I like to build a scene like that, because live theater is such an intimate, you can see all those details, right? Like a detail that you might not catch in a movie because there's so much happening, right? Or, I mean, unless you've got a really amazing director who knows how to focus the audience's attention, as opposed to something like, say, and I'm not dogging it, so don't everybody freak out. So something like the original Avengers movie, where there was so much going on that I didn't even know what the story was. Like there was just just this.
Well, and as opposed to looking at a box set for an hour and a half.
Right, or I mean, or looking at a movie by somebody like Wes Anderson or Kubrick, who was really good about focusing the audience's attention exactly where they wanted you to look.
Well, Kubrick let the camera sit there so you didn't have anything else to look at. Right?
Yeah, that's true. I'll tell you who I'm really impressed with, and this is really fresh on the brain because I just watched his new movie last night, is Tom Moore. I don't know if anybody's heard of him. He's an Irish director. He does animation. But he did Secret of Kells, Song of the Sea.
Those are amazing.
The Breadwinner. So his newest one, which he co-directed, I forget, Richard, somebody, I forgot who co-directed it with him. But their newest movie is The Wolfwalkers, which would be coming out in December, I think. But we got a screener for it, so we just watched it last night. It's so beautiful. And then we watched the Q&A with him too, where they were even talking about, because it's animation, because it's actually 2D for the most part. I mean, some of it's like digital and whatnot, but because it's all 2D drawings and stuff, they use that style for exactly that, for like really directing your attention and kind of like using the style to kind of like separate the worlds of like, so part of the film is taking place inside of a village, like inside the castle walls, and then the rest of the story is taking place outside in the woods. And so they have two very, very different styles going on, but even just like the motion, like the animation itself, they stylize, so the way, like the line art and everything is very deliberate to kind of express something, like whether like an emotion or something like that. It's like it's all so very deliberate, and I really respect that. Like, as
The Secret of the Kells still is gorgeous to watch.
Oh yeah,
it's lovely.
Insanely
Song of the
good.
Sea is one of our absolute
And that
all-time
one too.
favorites.
Song of the Sea as well.
So if you guys have a chance to catch that, you should definitely watch it. It's like a master class in animation and filmmaking, I think.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yes.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I do. I really, it's one of the things I appreciate about film and TV shows and really good mocks is that it is. I mean, I'm not.
Together.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not just trying to like somehow link this to Lego. I really do believe that that's important. Like directing a scene.
Well, that's all
is important.
They're all connected by design, right?
Yes, exactly. They are design and storytelling.
I was going to bring up the word storytelling, but you beat me to it. Yeah. When you're telling a story, I mean, there is a structure and a narrative, and you have to think and solve for all these things.
Well, I think that's something important that we talk about, and this is not, and actually Richard and I have been talking about this. I'm curious to get y'all's take on this. As we know, we do these build things every Friday, and while I love reading them, there are a lot of very long explanations for the various models, which are
inventive,
and creative and fun. And when we were on Lego Masters, we would have to give an explanation of the build to the judges, but it literally had to be like 2 sentences. And the thing that the judges always, or the Brick Masters always stressed, was that
especially Amy, right?
Especially Amy, was that you should be able to tell the story by looking at it. Like if you have to explain to me more than 2 sentences, then the storytelling part of it is
falling through. Yeah.
The storytelling needs to be part of the build, more of the build rather than the writing. And I don't know
that was something that we got early in art school. So when I went for my BFA, even as a practical designer, not a fine artist, but if you're a visual artist and you put something together, you can't stand next to that piece of art for the long term.
Right.
Right? You're not going to be sitting next to the sculpture going, this is such and such a thing or whatever. That's great. You'll have a title card in the museum or where you're going to hang it.
Yeah.
But realistically, you're creating a piece of visual art where someone needs to find meaning or find purpose just by viewing it.
Well, I think it does. I think it's also it does depend on the venue. I mean, obviously, like here we're on YouTube, we have a show, we can take as much time as we want. We enjoy like reveling in those ridiculous stories and ridiculous accents,
doing impressions
and impressions and all of that kind of fun stuff. But just while we're on the subject of like movies and TV and what makes good TV and what makes good. I mean, I guess just like imagine that your piece is going to be put up on the internet with absolutely no explanation. Like, fortunately, like Instagram and everything allows us to put little descriptions of what that would, like what that can be. But I just love being able to look at something and go, "Oh my goodness, that's amazing!" Like I completely get it.
Remy Baker suggested a no explanation challenge.
Oh, like a silent movie.
Ooh, that might be cool.
Silent movie, silent build.
Oh, Wilfred says.
Show a slideshow.
Wilfred says on the challenges, I always write 1 or 2 sentences to read in bold, but you usually read the whole email. I never understood why, because that's how it's sent to me. I read what's on the paper that's given to me, but I will certainly edit them in the future. And again, I mean,
you're right. When it comes to things like we talked about conventions, you can't be at your table. So, what I found is kind of what I enjoy seeing is if there's a build, the first thing is without the story just going like, holy cow, what is that?
Right.
Well, it kind of draws you in, but in order to hold your attention, it helps if there really is, either a storyline or something or little details that kind of suck you in and take you through the build.
And I also something to direct the eye, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't want anybody to feel like I'm saying stop sending us long stories. I'm just saying
they're so fun.
No, they're fun,
and we love the ongoing narratives. And all of that.
But what I'm saying is, as a way to challenge yourself, and as a way to I know a lot of people are like, so what does it take to be a Lego master? Like, what did you have to do when you were on the show? If you want to know what we had to do on the show and you want to build the way that they wanted us to build there, one of the things was making your story sort of self-explanatory. Like, that's, I mean, just to kind of point to like the again, the Dracula build that I did, it's really obvious what's going on. Like, it almost didn't even need any kind of explanation at all. I did put a small one just to kind of, because Instagram likes a little couple of sentences or whatever. But do you...
all your hashtags. Get your 20 hashtags in there too.
I know, yeah, at least 20 hashtags.
Hit the limit.
What if the only story you told had to be written in brick fonts? That would limit it, right? It'd be like, okay, I've got 2 words.
But again, we are
I'm
not.
kidding. No, I'm kidding about that.
Or just, you know
Anyway.
what? Or just a title, because I know in doing photography, sometimes, because photography is that kind of medium too, where when you take a photo, sometimes really what you're trying to capture is just in the photo. You don't always have an opportunity to explain what you're taking a photo of or why or what it's about. But I do note that sometimes it's just the title of the photo will say it all or explain it all, you know, just something very compact. So I mean, it could be that too. Even if we did a no explanation challenge, I think people would put a lot of thought into exactly how they're going to title their art.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
I
As you
think
say that, I'm
that's
staring at the
true.
photographs I've taken up on the wall.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going like,
See, like this doesn't need an explanation.
No, it doesn't.
No, and again, please don't anybody take this as like we're, you know, saying bad
Ripping
things
on your
about
stuff
stories
or-
and we don't want them anymore. Not at all. It's just a subject that we've been discussing lately.
I think this
that's
is
all.
just
I'd
pointing
like-
out different challenges that we face as artists or as builders
Exactly.
in any capacity. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that is can be difficult. It can be really difficult to express yourself in a one frame way.
well, it's
right?
true of anything. Like when we were designing products, you can't make. I mean, it gets into this philosophy of design of everyday objects, but you can't go too far off of conventions that people are used to. Because if you make a teapot that's so weird, no one's going to
will.
read it as a teapot. They can't use it.
I thought it was a soap dish.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you know what I mean? There are certain
Yeah.
conventions of things. Like, you know, if you walk up to a door and you see a knob, you're going to want to pull it. It's not a push, right? A plate means push.
Mhm.
So like a horizontal bar means, oh, I'm going to push the door inward, whereas vertical tends to mean pull.
Well,
It's
that's
those
it.
little styling cues
Mhm.
and things like that that you have to take and consider as you're making your object of, you know, it can't go too
That sounds
far
like
into
the kind of
alien,
thinking. That sounds like the kind of rationale that goes into a Myst game to me.
but, well, that too. Yeah.
There's a door, or there's a knob. It's a clue.
Yeah, there's 20 million doors.
Jamie
Well,
Bricker
There's all the
says.
doors.
Jamie Bricker says, "I love the Sewer Baby and Sir Frost Cream stories and all the others too. I do too.
Yes.
So now you just have to figure out how to tell that story without any words.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet,
We'll get there.
but we may have a. I mean, we may do the one where there's a no explanation challenge just to see
Silent
what people can
challenge.
come up with. The movie poster moment. Brickanisa says that's why I find museums boring, just looking at photos without the stories. Well, I can see that. I think
Except that I think you can always come. I mean, the nice thing about not being handed a story or given the story is that you can also like come up with your own too. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
you know art is in the eye of the beholder, right? So sometimes you look at art and the fun part is trying to figure out what it's about without knowing. So I enjoy the mystery of it too.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why there's Rothko.
Yeah.
Now, Brickanista, she says, I can do the stories on my Twitch channel instead. That's
No.
okay. That is
No,
not what
we're
we're
not-
saying. This is
we're not pointing
exactly
at that.
what I didn't want to happen.
We're not pointing
This
at
is
that at
not-
all.
This is not that at all. We're just talking generally.
Well, how about in addition to? Maybe not instead, but in addition.
In addition
Well,
to is great. Absolutely.
And, you know, this isn't for everyone, but as a lighting designer, I'm not a poet, right? I'm a lighting designer, so I express emotion and meaning and tension and contrast and all of those things in light.
Yeah.
And I've actually I've had to do a couple of things as a designer. Is one, I had to give up my own interpretation because what I do is in the service of the choreographer or the director, or so I'm telling someone else's story. But because I don't work in a literal medium, I also had to give up representation some and say it's okay if not everyone gets every bit of meaning I put into it, if they feel sad at the right moment, you know,
Yep.
or if they're feeling tense, that's great, even if they don't know, you know, because the other elements of it are telling, I don't know. I just feel like I try to say things, I have to say things not explicitly because of the medium I use.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Even the details that go into like going back to the Wolfwalkers or even the movies like or the kind of filmmaking that we do at Leica, there's all these little details that go into every frame, right? Because when you're doing stop motion animation or 2D drawn animation, it's like you really are having to focus on every single frame at a time. and there's a lot of detail that goes into it that your general audience is not going to notice. They're not going to understand. They're not going to understand the research, the background, the meaning behind it. I mean, it's like studying art history, you know, like not everybody understands like every interpretation and every nuance of it, but those details kind of all come together and make something very interesting. And it's informed. Whether somebody understands exactly what the intent is, I think you're right. It's like, as long as there's an overall, like, overarching emotion, people are feeling what they're supposed to be feeling at whatever time, then I think it's a success. But I think that there's just all those little subtleties are what kind of make it, you know, kind of form that emotion, whether people realize it or not, you know?
I think so. I think if it's successful, it communicates, and it's what are you trying to communicate? Is it, you know,
like for instance, they were saying that they were taking, and we did something similar with Kubo, where we a lot of the art was based on this like wood blocking print technique. Like that was a style that was kind of over all the frames, and they said the same thing. In Wolfwalkers, they used a similar style of woodblock print with even a little bit of an offset that they said was really popular in that era in Ireland. It was used for like propaganda and stuff, and they were in such a rush to, like, you know, print out all these pamphlets and stuff that the woodblock printing was a little bit messy. So there were all these like little offsets and stuff. Yeah. And they actually tried to capture that and put that into the film. Now, of course, your average audience is not going to catch that at all. It's just going to look maybe a little messy because they're like, yeah, the colors kind of go out. You'll notice that the colors go outside the lines sometimes, and that's why. To everybody else, they're going to have absolutely no idea what the reference material is behind it, but they are going to notice when the color goes outside the lines, and they're going to understand that that scene is meant to be a little more like chaotic, you know?
Yeah. I feel like it's a distillation of all of that, you know?
Yeah. There's a reason for it. There's a purpose for it.
I was going to say there is the opposite of what as well, because I'm remembering a discussion we had in art history where you take like Impressionism. Everybody pretty much knows Claude Monet. There's no story to Claude Monet. You just go up to it, you look at it, and it's gorgeous. And you know, that's where Impressionism is just supposed to be a beautiful thing, and appreciate it for what it is just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and Impressionism came about because that's when photography was being a thing, and or became a thing. And I think the mentality was, you know, a camera can take a photograph of whatever it is and have like a literal translation of the scene. And so that pushed art into this new form where it had to do something it had to serve a purpose other than just replicating what you see. It had to, you know, it had to, again, like inform.
Well, that too, but I did want to say, you know, there is the other side where I do try to make beautiful things. So it's not always about a story. Sometimes I'm just trying to make something that just looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like I have that thing, is this cool? By the time when I determine something's finished, I know something's finished when I think it's cool. That's kind of like the litmus I try to build to. It's like, is it cool yet? No, not quite cool. Not cool enough.
That still communicates.
Now it's cool.
You may not be communicating. You may not be communicating narrative, but you're still communicating. You're communicating this wonder or this coolness, or, you know, I feel like you're able to express what you want to express in your bricks, even if it's not. You know,
yeah, but I did want to say, you know, there is a lot of art is narrative story driven, makes a point, or social commentary. That's very modern concepts in art. Where, but also it doesn't have to always be that way. It could be you could have AC Pen with just a gorgeous flower bed, and it's just beautiful. You know, or you know, there are many different ways to approach, you know, this medium, and well, you know, narrative is cool, but it's not always that. It can always be just, look at this gorgeous thing I put together.
Yeah.
See, I think about that with bricks, and for me that comes from my experience with lighting as well. Like I've lit a lot of things, movies, live events, business meetings, you know, music, and dance is absolutely my favorite thing to light, because I'm freed often, while I am telling the choreographer's story, if there's a story there, I'm freed from precise representation. I can just be lyrical, and if I can do that kind of thing in bricks too, that's when I get really excited. Well, Flynn creates narrative in our pieces a lot more than I do.
Yeah, sorry for the distraction into impressionism, but there is that flip side of sometimes things are just beautiful.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which is sometimes a narrative in and of itself.
Which is totally valid.
Yeah.
Sprickanista says, I would consider my organization area as a dog's breakfast. I feel like I'm missing something.
Messy?
I don't know.
Messy with kibble everywhere? Because that's how our dog does it.
Messy with kibble everywhere? Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
That's the way my area looks right now. I've got just bricks and pieces just exploded all over the floor where I've been building.
Bye, Joel. See you later.
Bye, Joel.
Bye.
Well, we went deep today. We went deep.
Oh, yeah, we
I'm
went
sorry.
on
I can
We sort of casually fell into it, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably my fault because I watched a beautiful film last night that it's like something you don't get to see all the time, and I just felt so inspired. And I know I always think of Lego as an art medium, right? Like we all use it in different ways to do different things with it, and it just kind of got me back in that mindset of like, because now that's what happens when I watch a movie is like, oh, how do I build that? How do I capture that one moment in Lego brick? Like that's how my brain works these days.
Oh, okay, here we go. Dog's breakfast is a British, Aussie, Kiwi, Canadian. Wow, it's cross-country. It's an international phrase. Phrase for a jumbled mess. Well, yeah, there you go.
It fits.
You hear that, Logan?
That makes sense.
Good, he is in line. But again, all this is not to say that anybody should stop sending stories. Do not stop sending the stories. We're just merely talking about different ways.
No, keep on building
our art.
Keep on building.
And also, too, what I would love to see is, I would love to see a picture book. I want to see a Super Sewer Baby and Sir Frost Cream like picture book or comic book that includes like the photos with good. Like especially if you could get somebody who is really. Oh, I guess they just have fonts now, but. Like with the comic book writing and little word bubbles and all of that. Like, I want to see that comic book.
Comic book would be perfect.
That's a comic book I would buy.
Yeah.
And believe me, there's a lot of comic books I would not buy.
Well, there are a lot. There's a lot of them these days.
Yes. Oh, yeah, there are. Yeah, there are.
It's hard for me to even keep up.
Are you a comics person, Moto?
Yes, but I was really into them, but due to space, now what I do is I won't do the issues. I wait for the large graphic novel compilations to come out.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I'll get them, but I have to be very selective. So I have a friend who's really into comics and has a ton of them, and I usually just wait for those 2 or 3 experts to weigh in on stories that have just been incredible. And then I go ahead and buy the volume. Like Doomsday Clock, I've been waiting for that to wrap up and some other stuff.
Yeah, that's smart.
For a while, Flint, I don't know if you still do this, but we had a Marvel streaming service where you could get like every on the
the
Kindle,
comic book.
right?
Yeah, I had that for a little while. It was just so much. It was just so much.
Well, it was like every issue ever.
Yeah, but I went back and like read all the original X-Men, like the ones that I read when I was in high school.
Yeah, I've got like Lone Wolf and Cub. I found at a thrift store. It said it was missing one.
Oh,
that thing was like,
whoa!
It is like literally from this hand to this hand. That series, and these are small books.
Crazy.
It is absolutely massive, but wonderful, beautiful comic. Certain things like that. It's just due to space, I tend to try to get the smallest combined volumes of the comics, and then I can.
Did you see what Brickanista said that
No.
TrickyBricks started a Super Brainy Baby and Super Cocoon Baby comic on his IG?
Oh my gosh.
Like a comic book style, I think.
Yeah.
Now, I know this isn't a comic, although I say that, and then I'm sure someone's going to chime in and go, it was a graphic novel first. But we just started watching Raised by Wolves last night. That
I've heard it's quite good. It looks
is
nuts.
very
off the
interesting.
chain. It is crazy.
It's Ridley
In a
Scott,
good way?
right?
It's what?
I heard it's Ridley Scott, and it's quite good.
It's very well shot. I think it's well acted, and it's interesting sci-fi, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's also Ridley Scott up one end and down the other, unmistakably. Like we would talk about, like knowing someone's style when you see it. Like it has so many of his themes, so many of his, even like, I even saw some shots that I felt like, I've seen this before in other, like in Ridley Scott movies. And I guess he apparently directed the first 2 episodes. Now, we've only watched one episode so far, but what an episode.
The vehicle design is really, really clever and clean.
It's very clean. Yeah, I think you might like it, Moto. It's really good. You
Which
probably like it
service
too.
is it on?
It's HBO Max.
It has
Shoot.
it has its
Don't have
heavy
that.
moment.
That's
It
okay.
has its heavy moment.
Get the 30-day free trial. I think there's like, or even if it's just a week free trial, and you can try and see
I'm
a couple
taking notes because I'm
episodes.
building up what I'm going to watch in the winter when I'm just burned out on building. Because right now I'm like heads down. That's all I'm doing is 4 hours a day just putting brick together.
Awesome.
But I make lists, and then I have this list. I'm like, okay, it's time to take 2 weeks off and just watch stuff. And then I
Yeah.
go back to my list and I just start check. Because my brother said I have to watch Dark. I've got to watch Raised by Wolves now from you guys. Other stuff are all listed
Oh
out.
man, it's
It sneaks up on you.
it's intense.
I bet.
I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. And way better than that awful Haunting of Bly Manor.
That was no good. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad I didn't bother then. I was like not. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I love the innocence.
Yeah, I mean, I
Oh.
love Henry James' Turn of the Screw, which is what it's based on, and then The Innocents, which it's even more based on. But man, it is. It's like they took The Innocents and dressed it up in '80s mom jeans, and it's terrible, and I hate it. Like it's. I mean, I'm gonna watch it because I feel I need to know what happens in the end. But man, and it's the same guy that did the Haunting of Hill House the last time, which was so great. And then
Okay.
this one just really missed the mark, in my opinion.
I'm
Bummer.
sorry to bother you guys, but I do have to go in about 7 minutes.
No, and actually, we should probably go
We've
to.
gone on
wrapping it up.
actually. We sort of I was taken for a design philosophical journey.
I know. I know. Sorry, everyone.
No,
that
I'm
we,
so glad. I hope other people found it interesting. I find that
Probably
stuff
not.
fascinating. To
I
talk
know.
about.
I will say this is one of the deeper build-in chat and not builds I've ever contributed to,
It's true. It's true.
which
We
is
went-
awesome. You usually
Right.
don't get into stuff like this, but I think that's why I like the TrickyBricks stuff.
Well, we
That's
love
what
we love art and design. Like it's our
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Like it's our favorite thing. And to
He says as the skull and crossbones is displayed over his shoulder.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
we and
Oh yeah, right over
I don't
there.
know. It's to be able to talk about that with other people, especially for in our current times.
Mhm.
You don't get like when it's always we're in a meeting or we're rushing on to the next thing or we're quickly saying hi or we're meeting because for a very specific purpose.
Yeah.
And these are not the kinds of conversations that we've been able to have with anybody other than just ourselves in many, many, many months. So this was
true.
Inside the Builder's studio with Richard and Flynn.
And let me tell you, keep in mind we do have some
Thank you,
younger
Kathleen.
audiences that watch, and my understanding is that sometimes they're not exposed to any sort of art and design,
Yeah, that's
otherwise.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
right.
I'll feel better thinking that we've educated somebody.
This has been this is
well,
but yeah, that'd be
Kathleen-
helpful. Oh, go ahead.
Kathleen says, enjoyed the live stream with you all. I'll be joining again. That's awesome,
Oh,
Kathleen.
cool,
Thank you so
Kathleen.
much.
I also, of course, love it when people pipe up in the chat too, because we get a wide variety of opinions and experience.
Well, and like we were talking about,
Casual.
so like art is so subjective. It's almost like a difficult subject to talk about
It
if you're just
is.
talking about like art.
But
Um,
I think it's good to talk about things that aren't right on the tip of your tongue sometimes. I
Exactly.
learned stuff from blabbing with you all.
Yeah, because
Definitely.
think about how much art we consume as Lego builders a day. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm scrolling through my Instagram or whatever, I'm looking at one piece of art after another. And sometimes it's nice to stop and think about why you like something or why you don't like something so that it helps you as a builder, determine
Sure.
what you like to build or what, like you can think about how other people would see it too as you're viewing things. So
Yeah.
it's good
Well-
to actually think about sometimes.
It makes you an active participant, right?
Yes.
It
Exactly.
How
I'll
fun.
have to say that Peace on Thunder Man created an entire subculture. So, you know, art can change our lives.
And that was from the brain of an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
So
So art can change your life. You just don't know it yet.
Well,
What fun.
oh, Wilfred says, now I want to do an arty mosaic for the challenge, Rothko style. Ooh,
Heck
that'd
yeah.
be
Rothko.
do it.
awesome.
Man, I don't know how you do Rothko and Lego, but if you can pull it off.
And Hornburgers, the Hornburgers say, this is all great conversation. Art as a source for learning about culture, values, and society is a good alternative perspective beyond just looking good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
what
I
a
agree.
nice thing to hear.
I agree.
I agree. I could imagine doing a Rothko that's like, 12 foot by 10 foot in bricks and being able to get that kind of subtlety.
Okay, I'm gonna admit my ignorance that I don't know what that is, and maybe if I saw a picture I would, but
So Rich
the
will have
moment
to
don't
show
know.
you. Yeah, Rich will have to show you. It's hard to describe, but they're gigantic color fields, and if you see them in person, they're pretty mind blowing.
Oh, got
Photos
it.
don't do them justice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about like a lot
They're
of artists,
abstract.
but
Yeah,
I know
they're
what
abstract.
I like.
I know a few. I know seeing paintings in museums is always surprising to me when I think I know the painting from photographs. But
Oh,
at
yes.
any rate,
But at any rate,
I don't mean to slide down
Sorry.
into
Another
the...
10 minutes.
Yeah, we could absolutely do another talk about art and design. Actually, it's something that we've talked about doing before, and we weren't sure how it would go over. And this ended up kind of being our experiment with it. But yeah, I mean, yay, art and design and thoughtfulness and art, and I love it. And Lego stuff.
Yay.
All right,
Yay.
everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Holly and Moto. Thanks to everybody in the chat. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for another building chat, where we will build something. You can probably
And chat about it.
And chat about it. And don't forget, we have our Mosaic Challenge. That's going to be due on Thursday. I will have the article up on TrickyBricks.com tomorrow that will point you towards where you can turn that in. I will also put an announcement up about a place where you can upload your Halloween costume photos to be used in next Sunday's broadcast.
And I wanted to say, if you enjoyed today's broadcast, our conversation, all of us together, please subscribe if you haven't
And give us a like.
Yeah, give us a like.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, I want that Monkey Kid mech to get sent
I
out the
know,
door.
I do too, and we're so close. Like, we're so close.
Well, what happens, Flynn, when we hit 2,000 subscribers?
Well, when we hit 2,000 subscribers, you don't get the moon landing, but you do, in fact, we will be giving away, thank you, the Monkey Kid, Monkey King Warrior Mech. We'll be giving that away when we hit 2,000 subscribers.
Big box full of beautifully designed mech.
Yes.
Madness.
It's awesome. We have not finished the bookshop yet, Monica, because I've been building it
gorgeous.
exclusively
You
on
want
the show.
this. Make
Yes,
sure
you
everybody
do.
subscribes.
So yeah, subscribe. And haven't finished the bookshop yet, Monica. That's probably what we'll end up doing tomorrow, finishing up on that. And if there's time, maybe we'll take a look at the fun little robot builds.
Mindstorm's
Yeah,
robots.
and if anybody missed Wednesday's episode where we had Wes on, you guys can.
Oh yes, if you
watch that.
missed Wednesday's episode, please, I beg of you, go watch it. It was a fantastic interview. Another, I think, great talk about design and the way that a Lego designer approaches their work, and it was a fascinating conversation. So definitely check that out. So thank you everybody so much for joining us. Don't forget, until we see you tomorrow, that you to please sorry.
Stay safe.
Okay, steam just came out of my ears. I'm so sorry.
We want you to stay safe,
stay healthy, wear your mask, wash your hands, get your flu shot if you haven't got one already,
I'm getting mine.
and we will
Fine.
see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Mr. Elmo Man. Bye, Brickanista.